All right, so we did it again. In this video, I'm going to show you guys exactly how we monetized a student's channel in literally 13 days, as we can see right here. He literally wrote it himself. Today, I got my first channel monetized in under 13 days. And then here, this was his first progress post. So just so you can actually believe that this is all real, let me actually reload the progress posts he himself did into our group. All right, so here, 8,000 views in, just starting out the channel. And then here 13 days after starting the channel, he was already monetized in the YouTube partnership program, which is super cool. And then very shortly after that, he actually monetized the second channel, and in the first month on the one channel he made $4,100, and on the second one he made $1,300, which is super cool. Now in this video I'm going to show you guys exactly how you can do all of this yourself as well. So make sure to watch this whole video. Now for the people who don't know who I am, I'm Stefan, 24 years old, currently do about $30,000 to $40,000 a month and constantly building new channels, as we can see right here. Then just two videos, like here, this one, just two videos made me $42,000. This one did $30,000. This one did $12,000. Then I've scaled up a channel from literally $0 to $48,000 in just 30 days. As we can see, you guys can literally pause the video and look at the the dates. Okay, then I've helped hundreds of other people do the exact same thing. So here, Maurice is not a single case. We've helped hundreds and hundreds of people do the exact same thing. Now here, just as an example, this student $23,000 in a single month. Then here, completely blowing up a brand new channel. Here, $12,000 in a single month. Here, $30,000 in a single month. So absolutely crazy. Now if you are looking for the exact same results, check out the first link in the video description. Book your call with me, and yeah, we'll have a look if it makes sense to work together or not. All right, so I would say let's get into the video. Now, one thing you guys have to understand, especially we getting these crazy results, that all has to do with one single thing, and that one single thing is supply and demand. Now this is probably the most important part when it comes to YouTube automation. And that's basically seeing YouTube as a marketplace, because in the end of the day, YouTube is a marketplace of videos. All right. You have to kind of, it's a marketplace of videos. If you want to start any kind of business, you're always going to look at supply and demand. Then, just like in any market, YouTube has supply and it has demand. And now what does that actually mean for, people that have maybe never heard about it? So, demand is actually what the audience wants to watch. And then, supply is how much content is there already. Now we have to find a gap between these two that we can actually fill to be able to get a lot of views quite quickly, as we did with Maurice. Then what normal YouTubers do is they take years and years and years to build their personal brands, spend years building a connection with their audience, and then it takes a long time and hard work to actually build demand around them for them to actually start making some money. Then luckily with YouTube automation we skip this whole process. So we don't, have to spend years and years to build our channel. It can go quite quickly, but instead what we do is we look for a topic or a niche that has a lot of demand, but no supply. That is exactly what we're looking for, because then we can actually blow up channels as quickly as we did like this channel right there. Okay, now if we are actually doing niche research, there's specific criteria that we are always looking for to be able to kind of identify high demand and low supply. So firstly, there are under 5 smaller channels creating content in that niche that are constantly getting more views than they have subscribers. This means there's high demand and low supply, which again is one of the most important metrics we want to look at if we want to start a faceless YouTube channel. Then there are no channels with over 100,000 subscribers. There are no smaller channels failing, super important. And it's also super important that there are no channels with over 100,000 subscribers, because it's going to be very difficult for us to compete against these exact channels. The niche is not older than 6 months. Again, super important. Otherwise, we'll have a bunch of channels failing and also a bunch of channels that already have over 100,000 subscribers. Then I can create better content than my competitors. Also, pretty important, because, why should the people, we at least want to give them some more value. So what we can also do is we can create longer videos, which works very, very well. I'll share you more on this in a bit. Then am I actually interested in this niche? This is not a must, as long as you actually build a team that actually has interest in that niche. Is the niche monetizable? Super important. Otherwise, you're not going to make any money. We'll look deeper into that in a second. I'll show you guys exactly how to see if a niche is monetized, all of these things. Then obviously a huge bonus if you can post long videos, because, YouTube pays per 1,000 views. And if you have, it depends on how many ads you can place on your video and what kind of ads. But if your video is, let's say, an hour long, you can place way more ads than, the normal video on YouTube. And that's why it is super important, or a huge bonus, if you can actually post long videos, because you can place more ads and with that make more money. Now, what is very important is that this does absolutely not need to be 100% with all of the niches you find. Okay. Now, if you want to get it 100%, very rare, but that's where you blow up a channel like, for example, this one absolutely blew up. All right. How do you actually go ahead and find niches? So we use a dummy account to do niche research. So, a dummy account is basically an account that we only use for niche research. And with we have to, keep in mind that the YouTube homepage has changed for our advantage, and it changed quite a while ago, but most people still don't know about that, Then YouTube got extremely good at predicting what we actually want to watch, especially on our YouTube homepage. Then we can actually use that to our advantage to train the YouTube algorithm to only show us faceless niches on our home tab. And instead of me explaining all of this, let me show you exactly how you can do this yourself. Because once your dummy account is set up, you can literally find endless niches with it. So I can very quickly open up my dummy account. You guys know these videos are completely uncut. So let me quickly open up my dummy account so I can show you guys exactly how my dummy account looks like for you guys to actually go ahead and build up your own dummy account. Very funny, like my dummy account actually gets subscribers through these videos right here. So what we can see right here is it's just a niche research YouTube account that I only use for niche research. So I don't look at any, other kind of videos on this account. I only mainly look at niche, I mainly do niche research on this exact account. And that's why we can see that on this account, we mainly see faceless niches all over the place. And here, just as an example, this one, this is an account I don't even know. We'll actually get back to this account in a second. All right. So yes, let me quickly show you guys how to set up the dummy account. So what you're going to do is very simple. You're actually going to open up a brand new YouTube account. As I've just shown you, I'm just going to do it in an incognito account now, just to, show you guys how it kind of would look like from the start. All right. So once you have this, you're actually going to look up anything you're interested in. Can be the biggest houses, just as an example. No joke, anything you are interested in. Okay. Then we're going to click on the first video. And while this video is playing, we can already like this video, subscribe to this channel, and then keep on scrolling here on the sidebar and look for more faceless channels we can actually click on. So we can, show YouTube like, hey, this is the content we want to watch, and please show us more of this content on our YouTube homepage. All right. So now I don't know why it's taking so long to load, but now it's loaded. And then here's another faceless channel. And you actually want to do this for quite a while. Like, I wouldn't recommend you should do this like for 2-3 minutes and then you're done. Like, you have to do this for at least like in half an hour or something, and then you will see that YouTube is going to show you a bunch of these faceless channels. So I'm not going to do it in half an hour now. I just want to show you guys an example. But once you've done this for quite a while, you can then go back to your YouTube homepage, as we can see right there. And then, we can see on our YouTube homepage, it's already a bunch of faceless channels on this homepage. All right. So that's basically how you do niche research. I don't know why, because we usually use Nextlev. Maybe some of you guys have heard about that. It's not showing, like, usually it's actually going ahead and showing us. Okay, here it's showing it. So just had to reload, but here it's showing us that the channel is actually monetized, which is a super good sign. So this channel is actually making money. Nextlev, I'll link it in the video description. It's 13 euros a month. Super, super helpful. With Nextlev, you can also here, just as an example, see how much money this channel is making, what is the RPM, all of these things, which will be all extremely important metrics when we decide, hey, do we actually want to go into a niche or not? All right, so let's actually let this load up. Might take a little bit longer. So while that's going, I'll show you some other cool stuff you can do with NextLeft. Like I said, I'll link it in the video description with the discount code, but it's 100% worth it. So with the NextLeft extension, so if we have it here on the, you can also do all of these things manually, by the way. All right. So firstly, we can see $3 RPM. So this channel is making $1,000 in 30 days. But what we can also do with NextLeft is we can scroll to the bottom on our YouTube homepage, just like this, just as an example. And then we can actually go ahead and filter to subscriber count. So we can filter all of this, let's say like that, and then to total views. And then now we have the most viewed videos on our homepage to the least subscribed channels kind of filtered on our YouTube homepage, as we can see right here. So here, 1.3 million views, 6,000 subscribers, which is super, super good. All right. Now, again, then we can check out this channel. We can have a look like, hey, can we create longer videos? All of these things. Are there more channels in this niche? That's also something you can do with NextLeft. So you can just click here on similar channels, in-depth search, and you're going to search. And then you're very quickly going to find if there are other channels in this niche or not. All right. So now you guys know exactly how to use a dummy account and how to set all of that up. Now, once we pick a niche, it's all about speed. All right. I always recommend, like, if you're starting a YouTube channel, like, start building out your team while you're even doing niche research. Because once we have a niche, we don't want to wait 5 weeks, 10 weeks, to finally post the first video. We want the first video to go out as fast as just possible, because we have to keep in mind that YouTube is a game of player versus player, right? The player who's going to play the game the fastest is always going to win. And that is exactly why we want to make sure that once we have our niche, we want to get moving as soon as just possible. Then creating the channel is something that should not take longer than 10 to 15 minutes. All right. You can create a logo with AI. You can do all of these things with AI. You can literally take this exact channel. All right. We can literally make a screenshot of this channel. All right. That's how easy it is. Boom. Then we go to ChatGPT. All right. For this, I always like to use ChatGPT. Then we ask it, give me 10 YouTube names for this. For a channel like this. Boom. Send it off. And let's see what it gives us back. Golden, you see here, golden gear archives, already pretty good. So let's take this. Then we can ask it like, hey, can you create me a similar logo for a channel called boom. Let's see what it gives us. And then you have to keep in mind, you can ask it for the channel description. You can ask it for all of these things, and it's literally just going to provide everything to you. So here it's generating the image now. We'll get back to that in a second. All right. So next thing you really want to do is you want to actually go ahead and warm up your account. Now, how do we actually warm up our accounts, or we actually warm up our accounts to increase our trust score? Now, trust score is how much does the platform actually trust your YouTube channel. Now, what accounts need to be warmed up? So we need to warm up aged accounts, okay? And then we need to warm up new accounts. These are both accounts that need to be warmed up. If you don't know what that is, just shoot me a comment and I'll tell you exactly what's a new account, aged account, what the differences are between the accounts. Then how to actually go ahead and warm up your account. We use it as a normal user. We watch 1 to 2 hours of content per day. We subscribe, comment, like on different kind of YouTube videos. And we do this for 1 week to lower the risk of a low trust score. Now, this does not work 100% of the time, but it can work very, very well. Now, just a quick note, always have 1 to 2 warmed up channels ready to go at all times. All right. Because again, we want to have speed. All right. So once we pick a niche, we want to have insane speed. And that's why we always need to have some channels that are ready to go. So here is our logo. Isn't this crazy? Okay. This is how fast you can actually create a logo just with ChatGPT. You don't need to hire someone. You can just do it with ChatGPT. All right. Then we have to, pick video topics. Now, for video topics, it is very important that we, look at supply and demand as well on video topics, because supply and demand is not just important in your niche, but also in the video topics we are going to choose. Now, how to actually go ahead and find demand? We look for recent outlier videos on competitor channels, look for recent trending formats all over YouTube, and most importantly is do not copy most popular videos from your competitors. This is what everyone does, and your videos will fail. So you don't want to come to this channel and go ahead and copy these, like all of these videos, because it's always very likely that other people have already recreated this exact video. So that's why we don't want to do it, because of supply and demand. If there are too many videos posted on that topic, YouTube is not going to push it. Okay. Then how do we actually find supply? We use our YouTube search bar and look for how many people have created the exact same video. And then if it's been done more than 3 times and you don't have a different angle, to that specific video, go ahead and look for a different topic. YouTube will always show the videos to the hardcore fans of that niche first. And if they have already seen the video multiple times, they don't have any reason for clicking on your video except if it follows a different angle. Now, if all of this kind of confuses you a little bit, then check out the first link in the video description, because we do all of this stuff with you, to make sure that you actually, in most cases, win on your first channel. All right. That's always my goal. Obviously, I can't always promise it. Even on my side, channels fail, but, we do all of that together to try to get your first channel to win. That's exactly why our average student is actually, getting monetized within 3 to 6 weeks on average. Okay. So here, just as an example here, Antonin got monetized in 20 days. So go ahead, book your call, and then we'll have a look how we can, do all of this together with you. So it's not as confusing as, it might sound. Now, how does a perfect topic look like? A perfect topic is a topic that resonates with your audience. So ask yourself, do they even want to watch this? Some topics sound super interesting but are very boring. Make sure your topic is not boring. Your topic has to be posted on time, especially if it is a trend. Repeat what has done well in the past. And I'll tell you guys more on this later, because we had, just as an example, a student where, we literally scaled them up from, just getting monetized to $30,000 in a single month just by doubling down on what works, and then leverage negativity, because humans respond better to negative things. Now, I follow a kind of blueprint. It's like my niche testing framework. Now, I follow this exact process with every single niche I get into to avoid spending money on videos that will never work. And this is something we do with basically all of our students to avoid them to lose a bunch of money and, go into niches that will never make money. So the first thing of this process is basically doing niche research. Okay. Now, this is just something I want to show you guys, because on this channel here, just as an example, we actually passed that phase and the channel did very, very well, but I'll still show it everything to you guys, so you guys just know what it is. All right. So firstly, we do niche research. Then we need to choose a YouTube account. We have a new account, personal account, agent account, and pre-monetized account. Now, for me, I personally think a personal or a pre-monetized account are the best accounts you can actually get. Now, once you have that, we need 10 to 15 video topics. So if if you've already forgotten what I said about video topics, go back and watch that first now again, all right? Because we need 10 to 15 good video topics. Now, once we have our video topics, we can use any AI to write the script. We can use 11 Labs to do the voiceover. We can use an editor or freelancer. For the editor, we use a freelancer. Now, in most cases, we try to get videos for like $15. Right? Sounds crazy, but we always like to go into niches that are pretty basic to edit. Like, for example, these videos here, super basic to edit. All right. You can for sure get a very cheap freelancer. Then for the thumbnail, we actually work with a freelancer. We do it ourselves, or you can actually also use AI to create a thumbnail for you. Now, once we have all of that ready, we always need to keep in mind that our video needs to be 1.5 times longer than our competitor video, because we are looking for a competitive advantage. All right. We're looking for advantage over our competitors. Now, our thumbnail and our title should be as similar as possible to what is already working in the niche. So don't reinvent the wheel, just do what is already working. Now, once we have all of that ready, we actually go into the posting phase. So we post, skip, post, skip, post, post, skip, post. Now, this is a sequence that you can literally do however you want to. You do not have to follow my exact sequence. But what we're going to do is, They two types of results that you're going to get from this. All right. So either after posting 15 videos, one of the videos or a few of the videos are going to start to actually gain views. That is the point where you post more videos. If this does not happen, and let's say you're not getting any views, we are not posting more videos. All right. Once we posted the 15 videos, we don't post more videos. Usually or in like literally 99% of niches, like 15 videos is more than enough to see if a channel works or not. Okay. Now, the reasons why a channel might fail and why you might not get any views is very simple. It could be because of the niche. Okay. It could be your video topics, could be your packaging, your video length, or you have a bad channel. Now, I always want you to actually go back and try to understand, why did my channel fail? Because if you're not going to do that, you are never going to know what to improve. Okay. So this is super important. Now, in case of this fails, firstly, go back and understand why the channel failed, and then go back to niche research and repeat this process. All right. So now you guys know exactly how to build a faceless YouTube channel, exactly like we did it with one of our students here, Maurice, who monetized in under 13 days. Here's another student, $8,000 in 1 month, 18,000, 5,000, and many, many more. If you want my help, check out the first link in the video description, book your call. And with that being said, I'll see you guys in the next video.